Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. TribeTwelve, 2010 to 2019, Adam Rosner. This series follows a man by the name of Noah Maxwell. Initially using the TribeTwelve YouTube channel for his Jewish studies project, he receives word that his cousin Milo Asher has passed away. Noah then finds and decides to post the last remaining footage of Milo he had from a time Milo visited in the late 2000s. While reviewing the footage, Noah discovers that Milo was being followed by something. With very few options, Noah must find out what happened to Milo before his own life is lost. This is one of, if not the Slender Man series that launched an extended universe featuring other series with interconnected stories. And these are series that I will review in due time, as I explained in the previous video. Like all the other Slender Man things, I was just gaga for this series as a teenager. But with rose-colored glasses off and revisiting it as, an adult, much like Marble Hornets, this series doesn't really hold up. Okay, so there is one giant elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. Just to avoid me getting chewed out in the comments for this. And that is that this series is incomplete. Series creator Adam Rosner, who stars as Noah Maxwell, was exposed as a diddler. With his reputation effectively flushed down the toilet, he really had no other options but to abandon the project. However, a couple people close to the project gathered what information they could and compiled it all into this big document. This document essentially outlined how the series would have ended and played out after the video facade. This now brings me into the writing, which I will say is slightly more bearable than Marble Hornets. This is because Adam Rosner clearly thought this thing out. He knew where he was going with it, and he had a story he wanted to tell. I do think though that this story is kinda silly. If we are to take what information we had from the before-mentioned document as the God's honest gospel, this series amounted to time travel nonsense. Noah was part of a time loop that is meant to keep Slender Man and his henchmen imprisoned, and the end of the series was Noah maintaining that time loop. There would have been a giant battle between him and Slendy, and what was described in the document was ambitious sounding for a dude on a ham sandwich budget. It's convoluted, it's full of itself, and it's very edgy at times, but at least Rosner had a plan for where he wanted to go with it. Acting-wise, this is essentially a one-man show, with Adam Rosner being the lead actor. We get guest appearances from the other Slenderverse series people, but I'll talk about their performances when I review the other series. In my opinion, I think Adam and maybe Kyle Mallow, who plays Milo, are the only actors that are giving convincing performances in this series. The rest of the cast are either just fine because they're just being themselves, or god-fucking awful. But back to Adam and Kyle, when these two had scenes together, they talked like normal people more or less, and gave convincing enough performances. Rosner's performance, however, is clearly the standout. Now, back when I was a dumbass teen, I thought the video Catharsis was God's gift to fucking acting. As an adult with some sense of taste, I do think the performance given in that video was alright. While very melodramatic, it captured a man at the end of his rope fairly well. For what this series is, that video gets an A for effort. Near the end, Adam is clearly having fun hamming it up as a psycho, so good for him. If he didn't piss his career away because he's a pervert, he'd have some nice stuff for his acting reel. Technically, this series shares pretty much all the maladies Marble Hornets and any other found footage series or movie has. It's too concerned with being a movie at times to remember what it's supposed to be. Like Marble Hornets, it has its moments. It was mostly just meme bullshit. I will say though, compared to the crew from Marble Hornets, Rosner clearly had some ambition and some talent with video editing. There were tons of weird videos on the channel from the spooky Slender Man people, and the high contrast black and white mixed with the weird animated Slender Man made for something really memorable in terms of imagery. I think in terms of special effects, I respect Rosner for just going for the gusto. As I alluded to just now, he had ambition. Slenderman in this is clearly computer animated, or most of its traits and appearance are the result of computer animation. For a production this size, the Slenderman creature looked pretty damn good. There were multiple moments throughout the series where he has fucking tentacles and is smashing people about. A scare that got me as a teen was when he teleported forward in that video where he's trying to shoot him and just bum rushed him. And that still held up to this day in terms of visual effects quality. It really didn't scare me, but it looked good. Overall, a lot of what I said about Marble Hornets can apply here. This series really hasn't aged well in many respects. But compared to Marble Hornets, TribeTwelve has elements that aged not horribly. Rosner's performance was solid, the effects were decent for a production this size, and Rosner's ability as an editor shines through at times. Rosner's a pervert, he can go fuck himself, but he made something that reminds me of good times as a teenager. If you want to relive some internet nostalgia, I think you could do much worse than this. And I am feeling a 5 to a 5.5 out of 10 on this one. It's closer to a 5 than a 5.5. Catch you later, guys.